Aja, thank you so much for taking your time out. So many great things are happening for you, with you. We're here to talk about your single. But before we jump into all of that, tell us something, or tell the people something that we necessarily would not know about you.
Goodness, wow. Yeah, I guess returning to the song, it's actually like very crazy that I actually dropped music. I quit music like 2 years ago. So to be doing it is kind of like surreal for me.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love your talking voice, your singing voice and your talking voice. It matches.
Oh wow, I get that a lot actually.
Yeah, it's like soothing to hear. That's funny. But no, let's talk about the single. Who did you actually work with as far as the production and writing and things of that nature?
So actually, here in Houston, there's a studio called Lucky Run, and I worked there. I worked with Eddie Ferguson and Ian Thomas for the production engineering, and I had written the song actually like years ago, and so I did all the BGVs and all the vocal arrangements and stuff. But actually, I met a guy. His name is JTL, and he kind of helped me add some more flavors.
Sure.
So they're like the super team, honestly, and they're so low key. So it's like that's like my secret weapon.
Wonderful. Now, who are some of your musical influences? I think I kind of know, but I would love to hear just from you. Who would that be?
My musical influences. Oh wow, there are a lot, but off the top of my head, I would have to say Mariah Carey, Brandy, Jasmine Sullivan, even Usher. Houston. I like people who can execute, and better. They get better and better with time. So, yeah, those are my top influences.
Did you say Usher? Interesting.
My family actually hates Usher because I used to be so obsessed with him. Like, I can't tell you why. He just was like he was it for me. I was a little girl.
I can't place you in that during that time. I can't play. Am I?
You remember when?
Aren't you younger?
I mean, but so one of my favorite shows actually growing up was Moesha. You remember when Usher played Jeremy on Moesha?
Right.
And he was singing, what song was he singing? He was singing some song, but like that was like my first taste of just how good he was. And when I was a kid, like, I don't know, music was like the thing that like got me through everything. So like I remember hearing, what song was it? You don't have to.
Yeah.
So when I started to like, that song was like such a like bop for me. But I'm like OCD, like I have to listen to a song 20 times so I can hear all the parts, all the instrumentation, all that. So the songs like so almost like a woman would, so like anally, like everything had to be a certain way. He had a certain cadence, even with his voice, his inflection and his choices. They were just so I remember thinking like, bro, he is like one of the only artists that I know, one of the few that really get into the mechanics of a song, and basically their voice is like it was instrumentation. So I was obsessed with Usher. Like everything.
It's so funny.
Was gold to me. My brother said, Usher, because you loved him too much. I'm like, oh yeah, I was obsessed.
That is so funny. I get it now that you broke it down, because I'm like, wait a minute now, because I get it. I totally get it.
That man is consistent, period.
We're not gonna have no debate about this. See, I'm not going to debate. I'm going to say this one thing. I understand fully about the musical part of him, the intricate, but vocally, I can't see.
It's not his tone. It was never like his tone. Like, to me, his tone doesn't really stand out as much as his skill.
Okay. Thank you for that. Because now I'm going to go back and I'm going to probably appreciate him a little bit more.
Look, that's good though.
Yeah, it's really good because you gave me a different perspective. Yeah, because vocally I was into more of his performance. I was into more of him as an artist rather than the vocal aspect of him, I guess. Yeah, but anyway, let's talk about some of your challenges. What was like your biggest challenge with your single?
Oh man, actually recording. I know you talked to my manager. AJAH really was the reason that I was over music. Not music because I'm a music lover, but like I was over being a part of that industry. Like, you know, it doesn't really seem like it, but I'm 12 years in the game now, and it's like, man, it can really drain you, you know? And I think that when I was younger, I started this when I was 10, but I got into the industry when I was 12. You know, you do this because you think that, as opposed to the secular side, you know, you're doing something that's like, you know, for the kingdom of God. And it's like, man, like, that's worth, you know what I'm saying, me giving up, spending time with friends, and, you know, I'm just having a normal life, you know. I say it's bittersweet because to me the ministry, but what came with it was a lot on my mental. So when it got to the point where it was like me or my career, I was choosing me. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I rationalized it to myself that, you know, I can still sing. I just don't have to do it on this level. Like, I remember praying for God to really like take the fame, like the people watching you who want to be in your business, all knowing your every move. I just was never that type of person, you know. Most people wouldn't know this, so here's a fact that most people don't know. I'm an introverted person, meaning you know, I learned extrovertism, you know, for my career choice, but in my day-to-day life, my own parents don't really hear from me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
Time and space to myself. So it got to the point where, like, I'd be off social media for months at a time. I think the longest I was off social media was like a year. I deleted my Twitter. Like, it was just too much. You know what I'm saying? And
sure.
I was overwhelmed. It seems a lot with no return, especially in this industry. You know,
yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, you know, because it's kingdom geared, people are okay with basically prostituting you and just wanting you to be grateful for the opportunity, when it's like, I could sing at church and give me at least $50. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I really had to learn like who I was and what I would be, and you know what I'm saying? I was not music scene. I remember there, like, dude, like, what you got, what you need? And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't care. They can get it from somewhere else. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was over it, you know. The one thing that my pastor told me is ministry is about the people, you know. It's about God's people. And one of the things that I had to learn, you know, just through studying the life of Jesus, was that God's people, they denied him. He loved him to death, you know, to death. And when he to do the same thing, like when he says, you know, take up your cross, that really is a sacrificial act, and you're killing your flesh. My flesh wants to attack back, you know. My flesh, screw it all. But you know, I realized life, even my gift, is bigger than me. So AJAH helped talk some sense into me. You know, the people around me were kind of just telling me, like, you know, it's bigger than the challenges you face, and don't let the enemy win. And so I really warred with it for a long time. 2 years. I wrote this song 2 years ago.
Wow.
So when I finally got up to and I finally told the Lord I was ready to stop wallowing in self-pity and, misery. He put Walk On Productions into my life, and, it was a time where I wasn't traveling anymore. I wasn't really making any money, couldn't really pay my bills, so I didn't have much to offer anybody. So the people who helped me put the song together, even the video, it was all pro bono. It was just off the strength that, like, they believed it. And I was like, okay, if other people are gonna put their stamp on it, I really gotta try.
Sure. Thank you so much for your transparency, and I feel like it's needed. And I can relate. I've been in the industry for a long time, so my experiences with different artists and different instances is not that great either, to be 100 with you. So I can relate to what you're saying, but your gift is needed. It's very much needed, and I think you're refreshing, and it's a blessing to know that you're transparent. And I think that's what the church needs. I think we need transparency. Yeah. I think we, the fame and the glitz and the glam, that's gonna come with it. But your gift is needed, and your anointing, most importantly. So thank you. Like, it takes a lot of courage. Like, people don't get it because you're being vulnerable. You're being vulnerable when you're writing. So people, they may not get it, but it's okay because it's what you're called to do. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, girl, I can go on and on.
Listen.
I can go on and on. Anyway, I was gonna ask you this, with your journey. If you was to offer advice to artists, it sounds like you have a lot that you could really offer, but starting out in the beginning as an artist, what would your advice to other artists be?
Well, first, really decide not if this is what you want to do, but if this is what you need to do, and there's a difference, because there are people who want to do this, and it's not necessarily their calling. So you'll set yourself up for a lot of disappointment being in a place where God didn't call you to. And I don't want to sound deep, but it really is the truth. It's like spending all your life chasing after the wind. You know what I'm saying? It's really aimless. So, music is beautiful and it's awesome and it's great to learn and even be a part of. But even in that, there are levels that if God didn't call you to, you'll find yourself trying to claw your way to. And in that, you'll be opposed or disappointed or fighting yourself, because really, maybe that's just not the arena God has called you to. And from experience, I've had people in front of us who have been leading us through my career that have been trying to force us into arenas that God never called us to. And in turn, it hurt us more than it helped us. Me personally, I'm not the type to want to force my way into rooms that God never put my name in. Because when you let things flow naturally, you avoid a lot of disappointment. And not to sound so mundane, but really it's helpful because everybody isn't called to the artistry side. Some people are called to the creative side. You have the vision, and the God will link you up with the person that executed it. You be the creditor. And in my case specifically, my manager, he has many hats. But if he were to try to do my job, and if I were to try to do his job, it'd be a train wreck. It only we're honest with ourselves. So first piece of advice is just be honest with yourself. And the beauty in that is that you don't owe anybody any explanations, but you owe yourself the respect and honesty. And being honest, if this is what you've been called to do, get educated about everything you can be educated about.
Yes.
Play you off of ignorance, of lack of knowledge, because if they can sense it, and I guarantee you they can smell it on you, it's like sharks. If they smell blood, they're gonna come after you, and they're gonna be alive. When you have a gift that is a gift, there are gonna be a lot of people who come after you want to possess it. My honest advice: don't sign no contract unless you are absolutely sure that's what you want to do. Don't sign over your don't sign over your image. Don't sign over your likeness, because what people will do and what will happen is, look at TLC. You'll have fame and be broke. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
In that people's fame is something so good. I guarantee you, there's a reason celebrities hate the paparazzi. Who wants their life, profit in the streets? And it comes to the territory. Just be mindful of that as well. Be careful and be mindful of what you share with people who you're basically their enemy. Whether you're doing good or bad, they'll be tuned in and not necessarily for your good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
You have to really care about the quality of life that you want to live to really have a sustainable career. And you have to be okay with not wanting to be liked by everybody, not wanting to be accepted by everybody, and really standing and loving your lane, making sure you make your mark in that lane.
Sure. Wonderful piece of advice. Amazing. A lot of wisdom there. Really quick, just to kind of change the lanes. Your single, Can't Get Enough. Child, I was like, okay, R&B vibes, and come on, Jesus, R&B, yes. You was giving me all the R&B vibes, and I was going to make a bit of it. Thank you. With the direction of that, were you just like in a creative zone, or was it more like, this is my intentional direction? How did it like mesh together?
Ooh, so I don't know. I guess I was cruising YouTube one day, and I heard this beat. It was like a Leah type beat. I heard a bunch of beats. I'll start writing to, but this one in particular like stuck with me. And at this time, I had a ghetto setup in my closet. I've never nothing. And if we have time, actually, or if Isaiah will, I'll send you the first rough draft, because it was rough. But work, Pro Tools, Logic, anything. My brother was kind of helping me a little bit, but it was just a mess. But I was vibing to the song, and I just got the lyrics, and I was like, oh, well, I feel like this Holy Spirit inspired. I'm like, I'm gonna keep on. And so I just started thinking about, like, R&B to me, from what I've come to love and grown up loving, is just, love songs. I love the concept of love. I love the idea of love. And the greatest example of love in my life personally was just when I met the Lord. So I was like, I really want to write about that experience. And, if I really, it's going to take me my whole life. But this is really like, I guess you would say my brand or my genre of music is singing love songs to the Lord. And I was like, dang, this is kind of okay. I'm okay with it. And then from there, it just became this. It was like a slower song. I was in my lower register at first, but when I was actually recording it, the people I was recording with, Jay Till, he was like pushing me, like, let's hear your upper octave, and I was like, it's a comfort zone, but the end result, I feel like, was, I'm proud.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's all I have today. I don't want to keep you any longer. Thank you. No, thank you so much for your wisdom, your time, and make sure y'all go Can't Get Enough. It's everywhere. I have it. I've been playing it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You're like actually my first radio interview, so I really appreciate it.
That is so special.
It is.
That makes me feel so good.
Yo, what's up? This is Ahjah, and you're listening to my new single, Can't Get Enough, on BB Talks.
I'm freaking out about the way you love me. Even when I do you